Right. Okay. I
You're
think we're
live,
live.
my dear.
Hi, friends. How are you? Welcome to Reads and Eats. I have two great friends with me today, author Sheila Roberts and Sarah the Bookish Knitter. So we're really pleased that you're here watching us today, and I hope you're going to enjoy our show. We are going to be just generally chit-chatting, but we're going to be chatting about Sarah's book.
Sheila's.
Sheila's. Oh, sorry, Sarah. I know
I
you're
wish
right.
I was an author.
And the Merry Matchmaker. And also, Say No to Mistletoe, which is part of the mistletoe season. So, Sarah, I know that Sarah, when we were talking yesterday, we did a quick run through with this.
I didn't get a chance to. I was so, I don't know, exhaustion hit me last night and I just couldn't even focus on anything. But it's on my game plan for tonight is to listen to that one book. So that one short story.
Sheila, let's start off with Say No to Mistletoe. What inspired you to write a story about a woman who didn't want to be kissed under the mistletoe?
You know, it's so funny. People sometimes when it comes to what inspired me with a book, there's a specific incident or thing that inspired me, but I have no idea. It just popped in my head. How fun would this be? You know, if this lady, because I don't think it's a big thing anymore, the kissing under the mistletoe, but it's still fun and people hang it. And I thought, gosh, what is this poor woman? What if her first life-changing kiss under the mistletoe was like, it started a whole chain of disaster kisses under the And that's kind of what happened. And she's a romantic, and this little gal is a budding romance writer. She's just kind of getting going. Her career is jumping right along here, but her own love life is just a fail. And she keeps finding these guys, and everyone that she kisses under the mistletoe at a party, she thinks this is the one, and then it turns out to be the not one. And so that's kind of the adventure, and her first life-changing nightmare, horrible, embarrassing kiss under the mistletoe was, of course, with her high school crush with this guy. It's very Hallmarky, it's like, I'm returning to the small town and there's the guy I loved.
But that's what we love at Christmas. Yes, that's what we want.
But and I always try to see if I can do some kind of a little twist on it. So one of her arch nemesis from high school, she was tortured by the mean girls, and the mean girl now is a beauty salon gal, is a hairstylist, and so she, and she's hanging out with our heroine's brother. Oh, good heavens! And so not good. And so supposedly as an olive branch, I'll do your hair for Christmas, and she's done mom's hair, and mom looks like a red stoplight, and she's like and so of course my mom convinces her no, she means well, and she goes to the hairstylist, and that's a disaster. Now she looks like she's like, where's the hat, hide my head. And so just some fun things like that. It's always fun to find some kind of a goofy twist that hopefully maybe nobody else has done, because of course you guys, I'm sure, are aware the Christmas boat is getting more and more crowded with Christmas books every year. When I wrote my first Christmas book that really hit it big, which was On Strike for Christmas, and that was like a million years ago. I don't remember how many years ago that was. And that actually got made into a movie for Lifetime channel in the US here. But when I first wrote that, hardly anybody had Christmas books out. My friend Debbie Maycomber was doing some, and the only other one beside that, the guy who, I can't remember his name, Paul Evans, he had a very famous book, The Christmas Box or Christmas Shoes. Christmas Shoes. Thank you, The Christmas Shoes. And then John Grisham had done Skipping Christmas.
Yes.
But that was it. Every publisher, we have a Christmas book. We don't need it anymore. And so happily I found my dream publisher at the time, and they took me on, and I had that, and that did really well. But now there are one of my friends told me she had read somewhere that there are 60 Christmas books out this year. That is a lot of books on the Christmas book. And so it's just so the goal is to always try and find, is there a way that I can spin this a little more uniquely and give people something maybe that they're not going to necessarily get at Christmas. And that's becoming a challenge, which I don't mind rising to, because I love Christmas books and it's my favorite time of the year. So that was a really long-winded answer to what inspired that. I have no idea. It popped into my head and I thought, well, this is a little different. Let's do this.
Now, when it comes to short stories, were you approached by the publisher to say, hey, we're putting this collection together? Would you write something, or did you write something and then say, here's a story, and then do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, this was the case. This is the second anthology I've been in with this publisher, and I think they were kind of like, yeah, we're going to put together another anthology, and I had already kind of come up with the idea, but I didn't think it was long enough for my regular publisher that I did the Merry Matchmaker with, and I thought, I have just the thing. I can make a novella out of that for you guys, and and so that was how they kind of brought me on board and said, would you like to do this? And I thought, yeah, I really would. I'm trying to remember what I can't remember what the last year's Christmas book was. My life is a blur. Look at the hair color. I have dying brain cells in here, you guys. I don't know, whatever it was. Anyway, but so that was kind of
the 12 months of Christmas.
Which was it?
The 12 months of Christmas.
Yes, that was also in an anthology though, and I don't remember what the anthology was. That's lame.
No. I mean, you write so much. It's like how it must be hard to sort of keep track of everything that you're writing.
Well, it's just hard to keep track of who I am. I tell you, it's just like I was telling Fiona, I really do need to slow down just a little bit. My life is kind of a blur. I've always been a go kind of person, and I just don't I'm not a good one for taking, let's have a day of rest. I try and force myself to do that on Sunday's day of rest and just recharge the batteries. And when I don't, I live to regret it. But anyway, that's the life of Sheila. I'm not, so many writers are just very happy in their own company, and they're more introverted, and please don't make me, don't make me go on tour. Don't make me talk to people. Don't make me go to the party. And I'm like, where's the spotlight? Yeah, I want to go to here. Oh, a party. Yeah. Yes, I'm there. Oh, go have lunch with my friends. I can write later. And so it's, that's kind of, I'm a little bit wired. I am definitely an extrovert. And you guys, I don't know, do you know the difference between an introvert and an extrovert?
No.
Well, introverts get sucked dry by having to be out with people a lot. They have to have alone time to charge their batteries. And the people who suck them dry are people like me, because extroverts get their energy from being with people. I remember years ago, I could be kind of dragging, and we'd be going to a party, and by the end of the party, I'd be like, whoa, I feel great. And, so that's how we charge our batteries, is we're just like little, I don't know.
Energy vampires.
Yes, like vampires. We're just like the rest of you. So that's the difference. An introvert really does need that alone time, and an extrovert can only take so much, and then I just have to be with people. So that's kind of the difference. And I think a lot of readers and book people really, I'm perfectly happy with my fictional characters. Don't mess me up with real people who are a pain in the neck, kind of thing.
That's
me. I see some right here. Yeah.
I am an introvert, 100%.
Yeah, me too. We're introverts, but we actually like talking to people on the internet. We're quite happy that way. But that's great. So have you always written? Is it something you've always done, or is it something you've come to later in life?
No, I was always writing. I was writing those stories when I was a kid. I'm writing songs, music and fiction, and writing. Those are my two big things. Really? So I was making up little songs. I thought I was Mozart II, and I was always writing stories. And I went through going through my horse phase in grade school. So there were always stories about horses. I knew nothing about horses, but the stories were all about horses. I remember my one horse, Topeka, the Palomino, and oh, good grief. And then when I was younger, I would tell myself my own bedtime stories. I would just go to sleep making up stories. I was always the star of them. I was usually a lady pirate. That was a big recurring theme. Always wanted to take fencing lessons, and I'm sad that I never quite did. And we did a canard cruise, and I found out it was too late to sign up. They were giving fencing lessons. I'm like, ugh. And then we ended up doing another one. I thought, okay, by now, I think I will kill myself. Two things I always wanted to do. One was learn to ski. Never quite had the time and the money together for that. And at this point, I would break something. And the other one was fencing. It's like, okay, Sheila, some things you just don't get to do in this life. Let it go. Now, in fact, I actually auditioned. You guys call it Dancing Go Lightly, or I forget what your name of that show is over there.
Strictly Come Dancing?
Yeah, Lightly Come. And we have the equivalent of that we copied from you guys in the States. Dancing, and I watched it for years, and I really wanted to go Dancing with the Stars.
You and me both.
I even submitted an audition tape.
Oh my goodness!
But I did that. Never came to pass, and I'm realizing now, Sheila, if you did Dancing with the Stars and went down for the splits, you would never walk again. You'd never even come out. So again, some things are not meant to be, and you got to let go of them.
I danced for years when I was younger. That's what I did, and I'm so mad that I gave it up. I wish I had, carried it on into adulthood just as a nice like exercise hobby, because it's so much fun.
Well, and you can still, I don't know if you guys have that where you are in the US, line dancing is big.
Yeah.
Which is really fun because you don't need a partner for that. So I still line dance, and my husband and I, there's a a service organization we're members of, and once a month they have what they call a tea dance in the afternoon.
Oh, wow.
And we go to that, and they have some ballroom dancing and some swing dancing. And
fun.
dancing really isn't his thing at all, but he sucks it up and goes with me so I can get that itch scratched.
That's love.
I would love to do more of it. I see all these on social media posts of all these fabulous West Coast swing dances. I'm like, oh. But, I'm just happy if I can still move. The goal is to keep moving as you get older, just move something besides your mouth and your fingers, Sheila. I have really fit fingers.
Yeah.
And my mouth is really fit, obviously. That is the best tone muscle in my body is my mouth.
Yeah, cool. I'm going to quickly, so there's some people who want to say hello, so I'm going to click on so if I get
there you go, you got it.
Yeah, got it. Woo. So hi
Storm.
Welcome to you.
Hi, Stormy.
Hi, Adrian. I'm glad you're all here. Emily, hello from Maine. I'm so glad. We're really glad you're here as well, Emily. That's great. Hi, Pat.
Hey, Pat.
Who else have we got? Hi, Debbie. She says, hello, glad to listen and watch this interview. We are really glad you're here as well.
Yes.
I was hoping it wasn't going to be Fiona, Sarah, Sheila, Naymates. Luigi, hi all. Hi. Nice to see you. Jaco, hello from is that Illinois?
I think that's
Illinois. That might be Illinois.
Yeah. And she loves Sheila. That's great. We love that as well.
Thank you.
And then hi Beth from Soul Standing, one of my buddies.
How far? Hi.
And Jano, hi from Washington State.
Washington State. Jan, I hope you're hanging out with me on Facebook and Insta and stuff. So we're in Washington. I'd love to know, are you on the west side of the mountains or the east? Where are you?
Yeah, please tell us. And again, if you get any questions you want to ask Sheila, I'm sure she'd be more than willing to answer them. So
yeah, I tell people I'll tell you everything about my age and my weight.
That's all right. That's
fine. With you at this point in life, I look at the hair color. What's the point of pretending? I'm not going to pass for 39 anymore. Darn.
No, I decided kind of when I hit kind of 50, I thought, you know what? I am done with dyeing my hair. I am just going to let the gray hair show, and that's absolutely fine. I will grow old disgracefully that way, and it's fine.
There you go. And this is post chemo hair I had. Battled the big C back in 2013, my lucky year. Wow. Found out I had uterine cancer, and so I did the bald thing, did the chemo, and that was. And I would rather have any hair than no hair, because bald was not a good look for me, let me tell you. And I'll do a public service announcement right here and now. Ladies, make sure you are getting your exams and your pap smears.
Yeah.
And even as you get older, for a while they're like, oh, you don't need those after a certain age. It's like, yeah, you do, because uterine cancer can catch you at any age. So don't let the doctors tell you don't need to do this anymore. And don't let it slide. I had a friend, of course, she was older. Well, she's still with us, but she was a nurse, and she had never in her life done a mammogram. I'm like, Lord. What? And she wound up having to have a double mastectomy. And I'm like, you know what, guys? Yeah. If you don't want body parts chopped off, you got to try and catch these things earlier, and you've got to be good to yourself and maintain your health, because and be here for as long as you're meant to be here. I feel, and I also feel like, here's my little Sister Leather Lungs sermon. I feel like if we're still here, we're here for a reason. That's right. And you want to make sure that you're able to complete whatever mission God might have in mind for you. And if you neglect your health, you don't want to do that, because we're given these bodies to take care of, just like we take care of our homes and our cars and our kids and our pets. And sometimes as women, we take care of everything and everybody, but
we put ourselves last.
So exactly. that's your little side point here. Your unrequested message from
okay, right. Jan has answered you. She is close to Seattle.
Okay, Jan, I hope you need to be following me somewhere, Insta or Facebook or something, because we're right across the way from Seattle and Bremerton. It would be fun to maybe one day come summer meet up on the waterfront and have coffee. Maybe I'll haul over some street name.
That'd be lovely.
That would be delightful.
That'd be great. Kim says hi, y'all. Hi, Kim.
Hey, Kim.
Jaco asks, what's Sheila's next book project?
Oh, you guys, it's going to be really fun. It comes out next fall. We dawdled around, the publisher dawdled around too long, and I didn't get in the lineup for a spring release, which is fine because we're going to be traveling in the spring. But come next fall, I think we're keeping this title. The working title is The Man Next Door. And it's kind of a spoof on all those books like The Woman in the Window and the movie Rear Window, where, you know, like
all right,
oh
okay.
my gosh, the neighbor's horrible. He's an abuser. Oh my gosh, he killed his girlfriend. And so that's a little challenging to fall in love with somebody who might be a murderer. So it's just going to be a kind of a fun little goofball spoof, and we'll see if people like it. I'm having fun writing it. So
I love it. It sounds great.
I love the premise. That sounds really good.
Yeah,
I think it's a fun title, and so we shall see. My editor and agent both like it, and we'll see what happens with it. But so there will be a book coming out in the fall, and I was very sad with The Merry Matchmaker. You know, for those of you who are not U.S., probably aren't too familiar with the whole thing with Publishers Weekly, but that's our big industry magazine, and they talk about books and they rate books and review books, and this got a starred review in Publishers Weekly. Wow. My first ever. I've been writing since dust, seriously, forever, and I had never gotten a starred review, and I got a starred review, and then it's not available in Walmart or Target, which are our big stores here. I'm like,
yes,
well, this is very rude, very rude.
Yeah. I mean, put it this way. I had to get my copy from the US. I had to do Amazon USA.
Yeah, I apologize, those of you who are not US, and those of you in the US who are can't find it anywhere. So the bottom line is you've got to go to your favorite indie store or to your favorite Barnes and Noble chain or your ever Chapters or whoever requests, please bring this book in, or order it online. And that's just how it is. But it's kind of frustrating because it's, you know, here it's getting very good reviews. People are enjoying it. And people are going, well, where is it? It's like hunting for Easter eggs. So, you know.
They're moving so many books out now of the big box stores, even here in Canada. Like the Walmarts and stuff. I'm an avid reader of like Harlequin books, and you just can't find them anymore, and it's disappointing.
It's very frustrating. Yeah,
it is.
And
they tend to keep like one. These are the popular books, so this is what we're going to stock 7,000 of. But you know what I mean? There's that's my rant.
It's the same in the UK. It's like popular authors such as yourself, Debbie Maycomber, Jill Shalvis, Susan Mallory are being shoved out the way for newer authors, and it's like, but we want to still read these books.
Yeah, you know, and this is how life goes. There's a new crop of very talented writers coming up, younger, and at some point, you know, it's time to shuffle off the stage. The problem is with many of us who've been doing this for a while, we're like hanging out, going, I'm
not ready to go.
Dragging us and saying, get out of here. You know, so it's, you know, and you don't want to, you want the younger ones to have their chance also, of course. But so it's just, and there's just less and less shelf space. So it's becoming much more competitive, the writing business. And then you factor in indie authors who have self-published. And I don't want to go through the regular channels. I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to write this book and do my thing. And, you know, everyone has a story to tell. And I must say, I applaud you ladies for doing that, because many people say, oh, I want to write a book, and then they never do. And so the fact that these gals are going, well, you know, fooey on Yui, I'm just going to write this and I'll do it myself, which is great. The only problem is now we have like 1 million of us. We are like all the little fishies swimming in the water, waiting to get caught. Here, the reader up above on the boat, and they can't even figure out what fish they want to catch. So it's made the market much more competitive, and which is very hard. I feel sorry for some of the younger writers trying to come up, unless the publisher puts the magic wand and goes, poof, you're the next big thing. And often that happens. Publishers say, okay, we think we can ride this horse. Let's move this gal up and let's really push her, you know. And some of the people, you know, not everyone who gets pushed is necessarily a stellar writer, but and of course, new readers to romance, they're just happy to gobble up anything because they haven't read romance before in life. Oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
So it's just a very interesting market right now, but we just have to remember, hey, it's still a big pie, and everybody find your niche, and and the readers who are meant to read you will eventually find you
Yeah.
if you just get out there and and toot
And
your
it's
horn.
a lot different now too, I think, feel with social media. Like
Yeah.
those of us who are in this like book
Mhm.
influencer space,
Mhm.
for us to be able to talk about these books and share
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
like book talk and all that stuff. And I'm sure it makes a big difference too.
Oh,
Yeah.
we
writers and
need you guys desperately. I cannot
Yeah.
tell you how much I appreciate you influencers who are willing to read my book and talk about it,
Yeah.
because it's just invaluable. It's the new way you get the word out,
Mhm.
and you'll get the word out. People just don't find your book. So you play such a valuable part in the reading community now. It's I hope that influencers and people who are willing to review my books and talk about them realize how much I should say, all my author friends appreciate them, because it's doing a huge service. You're getting you're getting a chance. Obviously, we always send people for us in the U.S. We usually try to send within the U.S. because I know you guys know how expensive shipping is now.
Yeah.
Even to Canada, I'm going Canada.
We're not shipping anything now anyway. We've been on strike for a month.
Oh, you're kidding.
I'm not getting any mail. I haven't gotten any mail for a month. Canada Post is on strike.
Oh my gosh, my former editor is in Toronto. I wonder if she's even getting what I send her for Christmas.
Potentially no. Maybe by February.
Yeah, maybe because I've got Sarah's stuff from me is in the post somewhere in Canada.
Yeah.
It's just stuck at
But I
customs.
know what you mean with the cost of
That's
shipping.
terrible.
I mean, for the US, you guys have media mail, and it costs you next to nothing.
Well,
to
yeah,
ship a book to someone.
so I can send anywhere in the U.S. and I can afford to send to all kinds of people. But it
But-
makes me mad because I am in Washington. We are literally next door, to Victoria. My mind went blank.
Canada?
Oh, that part of Canada.
Yeah.
And so it's really frustrating. I'm like, I ought to be able to send this. It's going to take you 2 days to get that up there, and you're going to charge me $20. And so it's very frustrating because you don't like to be stingy, and you want to share with everyone. So, so all my readers, England, UK and Canada and different parts of the world, Australia, I apologize, guys. If I can find a way to send things to you digitally, I will sure do that. I'm trying to remember if we have figured out how to be able to send something digitally. I think if we do through Amazon UK, but I'm not sure. My husband's trying to look into that because you don't like to leave people out. You really don't.
Yeah. No, it's true. Or if you're on NetGalley, you could always send those people the link to that book on NetGalley.
Good point. That's
another, because that's where I know a lot of us influencers get a lot of our stuff from there too.
Yeah.
Well, and even NetGalley, they limit. I didn't know this because I'm trying to send everybody and anybody, and you have to apply to some. They actually limit the publishers how many books, or I don't know if the publishers do it, but they only have so many they can do, and then the door is shut, and so that's a little problematic, for writers also. So I often have to. I think in the past, I'm trying to remember. I think I've had to kind of send my little list, or can I please send this widget to blah blah blah, and I kind of beg and ask permission if I can do that. So that's frustrating too, because again, as you get to know more fabulous influencers, you just want everybody to have the book. And I send out a lot of hard copy on my own. Especially some of the larger, I'm sure people are, who the heck are you? I'd be approaching people on TikTok and going, would you like a copy of my book? You feel kind of stupid, but again, it's a good thing I'm an extrovert, because after a while I go, well, what the heck?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right, let's pop in some more comments. Beth says, my mom is fighting cancer and her post-chemo hair has come back mostly dark. She's very upset. She wanted curly white hair and it sticks straight and still black and red. Oh, Beth.
I feel her pain. My hair, this is like product and poof. My hair is stick straight. And they said, oh, your hair will come in curly after this. I'm like, yes! I had one curl, one curl back here. I feel your mother's pain. Oh gosh. And hey, Soul Stained Ink, are you in? You are in the U.S. I want you to please message me on Instagram if you're following me, or message me on Facebook. Message me somewhere if you would like. I would be happy to send your mother a copy of my cancer memoir, Unexpected Journey.
Nice.
That would encourage her. I will say this is a faith-based. We're Christians, and so this would be faith-based. So she'd be stuck with some Bible verses, but it's about my journey, the spiritual lessons I learned. And I must say, since we're back on the subject of cancer, that was certainly nothing I went looking for. But I look back, and I don't want to necessarily go through it again, but I feel like the lessons I learned and the spiritual growth I experienced during that time was invaluable. In fact, I almost need to reread my own book to remind myself how blessed I am to be here. And
I second that.
Yeah.
I believe me. I completely second that.
Yeah.
We take our life so much for granted sometimes. And as you guys know, we just had our big election in the US, and there was much wailing and gnashing of teeth, and we've been, ever since COVID almost, we've been very polarized. And I thought, I'm not going to lose friends over this. I don't care how you voted, pink, purple, or blue, red, whatever. My friends are still my friends. I still care about people, and I refuse. It was the same with COVID. People would be so divided that friendships ended because of that.
Yes.
And I feel like that's wrong. We should care for each other no matter what our beliefs and how things should be done. And so that's, I don't even know how I got that subject. I'm a wanderer, obviously.
We're happy. We're happy.
This is what we were saying.
Like, boing, 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 boing.
That's fine.
So Lou says prayers for Beth's mom's recovery.
Yes, absolutely.
I know the outcome of this. She has stage 4 colon cancer. Doctors say there's no recovery option. Just keep her going as long as possible. She's still cleaning the house and hanging out with us 3 years later. The woman she is amazing. And Beth's dad is a Church of Christ minister, so I'm sure she would love.
So there you go.
The book. Yep.
Yes, if you again, just please be in the U.S. That's all I ask.
Yeah, she's in Texas. She's in Texas. And Beth is also, she is a teacher, and she's also a writer. She's published in indie on Amazon, and she's into she's a great proponent of middle grade. She promotes it. So she's like, the middle grade section is almost non-existent in bookstores now too. It's ridiculous.
Everything, the big thing now is dragons and stuff. And dark fantasy is just a big thing right now.
This dark romance stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
Gosh,
exactly.
It's just like, and I'm going there.
Each to their own. It's just not for me. I tried.
Yes, so did I. So Pat is asking, any more books on the 9 Lives of Christmas series?
No more sequels to Ambrose, I'm afraid. When Hallmark did the 9 Lives of Christmas, and then they came up with a sequel, The 9 Kittens of Christmas. And I had nothing to do with that. They just said, surprise, Sheila, look what we've done. I'm like, that's interesting. I don't think cats even have kittens at Christmas time, but okay, whatever. Anyway, so that was as sequel-y as we got. And that was a little weird to me, because at the end of the 9 Lives of Christmas, my couple is together and they're going to live happily ever after. And then you come to the sequel and they've broken up. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But that's movie land. We did, there's a fairly new channel in the US, the Great American Family Channel. And they made a movie out of my book, Christmas on Candy Cane Lane, which I just love that book. But again, when you sell a book to the movie people, it is no longer your baby. It's someone else's baby, and they are going to create that baby however they want. And so I'm reading, we went up and visited the set. It was so much fun. Got to hang out with the stars, and I bribed everybody with cookies to make them like me. And it was really fun. But anyway, so I'm reading the blurb about this, and they go, and Muriel Sterling, is no longer alive. I'm going, what? Muriel Sterling. Now, for those of you who have not read my Icicle Falls series, Muriel Sterling is kind of like a basic character throughout these books. Muriel Sterling's decided to write self-help books, and she's just always around. And she's not around in the movie. She's just gone. And I'm like, holy moly, you guys, why did you have to bump off Muriel? But that was how they did the plot. And then there's a teenage daughter in this book, and she's kind of a stinker because she's like 14 or something, and she's a little pill, and the girl in the movie, I thought, this is an alien. No teenage girl is this sweet. The girl, anytime something disappointed, she'd kind of like, and she's like, this is sweet. She never throws a fit. She never whines. She never complains. I'm going, you have been taken over by aliens because you are not a normal teenager. But again, I thought, okay, it's, this is how things work in movie land. So, but I still remember being so shocked going, you bumped off Muriel Stolig. I cannot believe you did that. But there you have it.
I was thinking about that as readers, when we see something adapted that we love, like for example, Bridgerton or something, right?
Yes.
And you're sometimes a little disappointed. I can imagine being the author and being like, oh, I don't know how much I love this or don't love this, but you've got to be polite and you've got to be supportive of it, right? So you've got to, put on a happy face about it, even though you might not be 100% happy with the situation.
Well, you do, and you take the money and run and go, okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
I was going to say
there's for the kids' college education, so you do what you do. But and we've got movie interests going on in a couple of things. Like way out back, I told my agent, look, I want family values. I want something really basic. I don't want swearing and stuff. And she's like, would you just calm down. Let's just get a deal first. But I have visions of, you just never know anymore what could happen to your project. So I always think, I'm, depending on if we get another deal and what that looks like, I may be sending out, okay, this is not like the book. Read the book.
Yeah.
But movies never are like the book.
No.
There was a lot more depth in the 9 Lives of Christmas. There was also some obnoxiousness, and I have to admit, my fireman had a mouth on him. I didn't realize until I went back and re-looked at that book and went, oh my gosh, this guy swore a lot. My mother would wash his mouth out with soap. I should wash his mouth out with soap. And of course, once something's in print, it's too late. You can't take it back.
Yeah.
So I've been really trying to clean up my act, and I don't care. People will just have to say something else when they're mad because, that's your reputation on the line. So that was kind of a wake up call going, holy moly, who was supervising me when I did this?
Okay, cool. So, so Lou is like, loved associating. So Debbie has got a question for you. I wonder if you also promote at libraries. I went to an authoritative visit at my local library this year, and they really promoted her and brought all of her books and also let her sell her books at the table. So is that something that you do?
I probably should have reached out more to libraries. I've not had a lot of libraries reach out to me. I have done things at my little local library down here in our beach town. That's a good suggestion. I really should do more. I've done a couple of small tours in the last year to visit different bookstores. But that's a really good suggestion, Debbie. Thank you.
Right, Esther Jane is like, hi, glad to be here. Hi, Esther Jane. Woo. Beth, the funniest thing is that I tried to publish my Dragon middle grade years ago, and the agent said he loved the story, but dragons weren't in it at the time.
Do it now.
And then 12 years later, maybe I should try for an agent again.
I think
Storm is like, you should, Beth. I totally agree. And Beth is like,
and in fact, let me throw this out. Contact Creative Media Agency. Look them up online. I know they're one of the agents there. I'm pretty sure that will handle that age group. So check that out and see if you can get one of them to represent you.
Well, there you go, Beth, because she said I wouldn't even know where to start now. The first 3 books are finished and I self-published on Amazon. I'm sure they need work. Beth, take Sheila up on our offer, on our suggestion. Please,
absolutely.
Please go and do it. So I know that we briefly touched on, but let's talk about the Merry Matchmaker. Now, I'm going to admit, when I saw this and I saw that it was inspired by Jane Austen's Emma, I was like, oh, no. Because if anybody's watched my channel, Sarah's giggling because it's the one book I detest.
And it's my favorite Jane Austen. So her and I are up because it's my favorite Jane Austen.
I hate it. I find Emma just so infuriating.
And I adore her.
I prefer Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, do I not? Sheila, I love it. To the point that I am even considering going back and actually trying to read Emma again for about the 3rd or 4th time.
That's funny. Well, I did when I first pitched this to my editor. I said it's Jane Austen's Emma in a Santa hat, but I didn't realize that's what it was when I was writing it. It was only as I went along, I thought, oh my gosh, she's just like Emma. She's so busy running everybody else's love life. and trying to take control of everybody else, that she's missing what's right under her nose. Only I don't think Frankie was as obnoxious as Emma was. Emma was a little bit of a spoiled thing, and I remember, I don't remember what she exactly said, but there was the scene with the blabbity older sisters, and she said something kind of catty and to one of them, and hurt their feelings, and got scolded by Mr. Knightley. And my character has not done that, but I just thought there are similarities in the fact of the whole matchmaking thing, and I just think I can fix everybody up. And of course, everything blows up in her face when she fixes everybody up, and she almost loses the guy that she should be with, partly because she's been afraid to try again. She's a young widow, and I don't want to try this, but she tries to match up her sister. That's a disaster, and she's trying to help her shy little store employee, and what a disaster that is. And I just thought it was fun to have all that stuff happening to her. And another big thing to me, I really like, young love is important, especially with, to young readers. But I thought there are also a lot of women out there who are, in their 40s, 50s, 60s, who are going, hey, we're still here. We still have a life. And I've had women contact me and say, I really like that you give older women a voice too.
Yes.
Because, like I said, we're still here. We still, it's funny, this whole aging thing. I told somebody once, when you're young, it's like you're riding around, pick your hot car, riding around in a Maserati, the shell is just gorgeous and woo, and then it starts to dilapidate as you get older. And pretty soon you're riding around in a junker, but inside you are still Maserati chick. You still feel like, in my mind, I'm still 30 and a babe, and then I look in the mirror and go, it's like, oh, no, you're not. But inside, but their spirit always stays young, and you still need love. All the things that you needed when you were younger are things you still need as you're older. And plus, I think multi-generational friendships are really important. I think the youth can learn from the wisdom of the old, and the old can enjoy the energy of the youth. And women are women. We all have common interests. We all like to try a new recipe, or we all like to watch a chick flick, or we all, women can find so many things to have in common. We've got knitting, we've got quilting, all those things, which have become really big in the last couple generations. There are so many things that we can have in common no matter what our age. And so I really like putting that in a book. I really like having something for each generation. So in this book, we've got, of course, Frankie, who's in the middle. We've got her mom, who has all kinds of cheeky things to say about love. And then we've got the two younger women and what's going on with them. And so it's kind of fun to mix these generations and have a cast of characters. And so that's kind of what I did with this book.
I love
I have to say, I loved the fact that Frankie was middle-aged, that she had love before, but she was very like, oh, I don't know if I want it again. And kind of couldn't see what was basically staring her in the face. I really, really liked that. And I thought, I have to say, that when she did this, when she helped out the younger girl that worked in the store, she became the younger girl became a wee bit of a, she was not quite a dragon, but a bit of a look at me, I'm a peacock now sort of thing. Which I thought was quite funny.
She was really enjoying her transformation.
Yeah, she was.
Created a monster,
Yeah.
And, so, which was good. And of course, again, we finally get Eleanor sorted out and in the right direction. But it was like I said, it was very like Emma, though. It's like, oh, here's the perfect man. No, not this man. This one over here. Here. Not that guy. And so it was just kind of a fun. And I hoped a fresh twist again for a Christmas novel, because it gets a little harder and harder to come up with what can I do that's
and to break, get into the market and be like, this is different from what these other people are doing,
just a little something different. But there are so many. I'm reading one right now by Courtney Walsh, Christmas with a Crank.
And I love her.
I do. I love her too. She writes a clean book, a funny book, a fun book. I love the characters. I'm a big fan. Of Courtney. So if you're looking for a book along that line, she's a good one to test. And of course, all my friends have got Christmas books out right now. Oh my gosh, the woods is full of us. Rayanne Thanis got one out.
Try being a reader. We're trying to navigate through this. And you really have but Fiona and I were saying just yesterday, we don't care. We'll read the Christmas book in May.
Yes.
Just to make ourselves happy and give ourselves like some joy, you know.
Yeah.
Almost need to, because there's guys, there's
There's
no
too many
way-
of them.
There's no way you're all going to get through all these books before
Right?
December
No.
25th. It just isn't.
No.
You know?
Reading them all.
No, I mean, I've just actually finished about 10 minutes before we came on to chat backstage. I just finished Rianne Thane's new one.
Oh, the December market?
Brilliant. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
It was
And I'm
so
halfway
good.
through the new Sarah Morgan, The Holiday
Oh.
Cottage.
Oh, I want to
Which
get
is
that.
just-
I like Sarah
oh.
Morgan.
I love
Well,
her.
Somehow I didn't realize she was over in England. I wanted to have her on my Facebook to talk to her, and I've got to figure out the time that I always do stuff is when she'd be like asleep.
Yeah.
Like, how am I going to make that work? But she's
Well,
a lovely lady.
Do it at roughly the same time that we're doing it, Sheila. It would work probably. Because
Yeah, I think they're about 5 hours.
She's on the same timeline as me. So,
So
you know.
5 o'clock my time though. 10. She'd be up to 7.
Yeah, 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. I mean, at the moment it is 7:45 p.m. here.
And
At the
here it
moment.
is 12:45.
Oh
Yeah.
my Lord.
8-hour difference. 8-hour difference. So yeah.
Oh yeah, because you're on the West Coast. Okay, yeah. So add another,
Or just do something later in the evening and say, hey, special time because we've got Sarah. But she just seems really sweet. So yeah, I would love to be able to at some point get her on and talk.
But the book is so far fantastic. I mean, I love her old stuff, her old contemporary romance, but her new stuff is just joyful.
Fun.
So, since you mentioned Sarah Morgan, Sarah and I are actually doing a Sarah Morgan read along just now. It's like you can read any Sarah Morgan you want, and
Holiday Sarah Morgan book.
Do a craft.
We're both crafty.
We're both crafty. So holiday Sarah Morgan book and a craft, and we actually have a live show going out on Boxing Day, which is the 26th of December. So
I love that.
We thought we'd just plug that while we're both sitting here.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So don't forget to be part of that. That sounds.
That's
wonderful.
right.
And you're welcome to be part of it as well.
Thank you. That's so sweet of you. I appreciate it.
But I have to get to that Courtney Walsh. I haven't gotten to that one yet.
No, I'm going to be really. I actually have never heard of her because it's not something that's over in the UK. So I need to do that. Sarah, you can keep nudging me about that one.
Yeah, I will.
Okay. So Beth saying looking them up now, Sheila. Thank you. Beth, I disliked Emma. Not my least favorite, but next to last on the list. And Jane Austen is one of my favorite authors. Loved this book though. So there you go.
Thank you. And I love Jane Austen. She was I heard from me, I think when I first read her high school or college, Pride and Prejudice. That was my first Jane Austen book, and I have reread that several times. So I am a big Jane Austen fan.
I'm now going to ask you, have you seen the BBC adaptation with Colin Firth?
Oh, yeah. Every woman in America is insanely in love with Colin Firth. Who has not seen that?
Who has not seen that scene when he comes out of the pond?
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. That's just... I think that's like every woman's poster, you know. It's just like,
exactly.
But the one I really liked, they did a movie with Keira Knightley, I think, was in it, and Donald Sutherland. Was Donald Sutherland? But the thing I liked about that was that the father was actually a little kinder in the movie than he is in the book. Yeah. And of course, there were Jane Austen's rendition is true to life back then. I mean, the man, they just not bother with these silly females. But he felt almost a little heartless, you know, when you read him. He loved Lizzie, but he didn't seem to be very involved in the lives of all the goofy women in his life. And I really liked that they gave him a little moment of tenderness in that particular movie. But you know, it wasn't what was in the book for sure. He just, you know.
So Lou G says, totally agree with Fiona. Liked Emma a bit better after reread. Storm goes, okay, I'm curious about the Merry Matchmaker. Storm, go read it.
Buddy, read it, Storm, you and I.
You've got to read it. So Storm is like me too. I think that's like she liked Emma. Joe K, riding around in a junker. Love that. Great description. Storm, we were talking about the why we read throughout the year is like that's why we have Christmas in July. Great invention. Right. Yep.
Absolutely. You know, I did that last year too through my Facebook. No, I try and expand that and do it in Insta this coming year because it's
Yeah.
really fun to do Christmas in July. I did giveaways and we talked
Yeah.
about books and stuff. And it's become
It's
such a
wonderful.
big thing here in the States. I don't know about where you guys are, but
Yes.
you know, all the Christmas movies resurface and we're all in
Yes.
sales, you name it. It's Christmas in July. And I
Yes.
really like that idea, you know, of doing Christmas in July. So I will probably celebrate that again this coming July and find some fun to do.
Sounds good. Lou G is like, love Donald Sutherland as Mr. Bennett.
He was great. I love Donald Sutherland anyway.
And Beth is Pride and Prejudice is my favorite as well. Read it first when I was 9 and have a shelf of various editions. One from 1896 that was my great grandmother.
Wow.
Oh, that is
Wow.
wonderful.
Wow.
That is amazing.
Cool.
That's so cool.
And it's great that it's been passed down from the
Yeah, that it's not just an edition you found; it's a family heirloom.
Oh, that is just brilliant.
That's so special. That is really
Oh,
special.
absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah. So how are you going to be celebrating Christmas this year? You don't need to go into total details, but what plans do you have?
Well, since it's my big favorite holiday, there are always parties. I'm very frustrated because I'm still too germy. Fiona and I were commiserating that we each caught colds, and I sound like a frog, and I'm a walking schnozola, and so I'm missing out on a Christmas party I've been looking forward to for weeks. Tonight we'll be home, just the hubs and me. I may make some peppermint popcorn just to make myself feel better.
Oh, lovely.
But so that's off the table. We already lost company from last night. I'm like, ugh. But and I told him it's a good thing. The timing's perfect. We got to do our trip to Victoria and see the gorgeous Bouchard Gardens just up for Christmas, and hopefully it will be well the week after that. That's another big batch of parties like coming up. I'll be hanging out with college buddies. This is fun, you guys.
Oh, lovely.
I worked my way through college as a singing waitress, and a bunch of us, we have kept in touch all these years, and we get together every Christmas and hang out and party, and that's coming up. And then lots of big family celebrations. That's just a really big, that just makes my Christmas. That's a big deal for me. My extended family, we all get together on Christmas Eve. Then it's my little family, Christmas Day. And we have a granddaughter who's newly married and now is trying to juggle. You know how when you're young married and everybody wants to see you, grandma, grandpa, both the in-laws, everyone, and doing that juggling act. And she was like, this is my funny little story here, you guys. We've always been our family on Christmas Day. That's how it's always been. And even when the girls got older. And now we have one wandering off the reservation. I'm like, what? You know, and I was feeling terribly sorry for myself because, well, you always come here Christmas Day. Well, now the in-laws want her Christmas Day and they're trying to figure out how to make it work. So we're going to do a big family thing the day before Christmas Eve. And I thought, you know, Sheila, you have to be flexible. You have got to adjust. And it's not all about you. Although I always thought it was all about me. But
It is. Yeah, it should be.
So it's a whole thing with willing to share. And again, things change and evolve with families, but it's about, the main thing is about celebrating the reason for the season and taking joy in the fact that God loved us enough to give us all a second chance. And so that's the real thing. The trees and the cookies and the parties are, you know,
those are all just decoration.
Yeah, they're the trimming, you know, but of course I love the trimming. So
Yes.
I am looking forward to, we've got fun things scheduled all the way from the 23rd through Boxing Day. So, you know, if I have to be sick, probably right now is the good time to do that and get it out of the way.
Get it out of your system.
Enjoy hanging with family. But, you know, if anybody out there, whatever, you know, you're dealing with, sometimes plans change and, you know, okay, if the cold comes on or you get something yucky, well, you know what, you can always celebrate at a different time, right? So
exactly,
that's it.
Go with the flow.
Exactly, yeah. So let's see what else have been said. Jaco, don't stone me, not a fan of Jane Austen at all.
It's okay. It's all right.
Beth, have you read Northanger Abbey? I know a lot of people don't like Jane Austen, but find Northanger Abbey hilarious.
I have not read that one yet. Maybe I'll have to give that one a try.
Jaco, no, I could barely stomach Pride and Prejudice. Too many good books to read like Sheila's. I'll leave the classics to those who like them.
And that's fair. Not everyone's a classics reader.
Yep. And as Beth says, makes sense. So that's good. So
I'm sorry, go ahead.
On you go. No, please go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking about the Jane Austen thing. Sometimes you almost have to understand the culture in which it was written, because you're like, what's with these drippy women? All they want to do is chase men. I thought, well, some things have never changed because we're all still looking for a good man, or else we're fed up with them. It seems to be one extreme or the other. But back then, it was such a big deal because there weren't a lot of options open for women work-wise. You could become a governess, or you could become the favored aunt who's stuck living with somebody else because you couldn't get a man. And
that would be my choice.
Well, and estates would be joined, and if in the case of the Bennetts, all you have is daughters. Oh my God, you got to find a way to keep the family going, keep everybody housed. And with her case with Mr. Collins, the goofball cousin who is going to marry one of the girls, and he's such a drip, nobody wants him.
Oh, isn't he?
But the problem with why somebody needed to marry Mr. Collins was because the state was entailed, and you girls, I'm talking to the choir. You guys know how that works. Back then, things would go from blood relative to blood relative, male heir to male heir. So it was really important for women to marry. So that was why all the husband hunting and stuff was going on, and class. And we pride ourselves in America. Well, we have no class distinctions here. Oh, yes, we do. Everybody has a pecking order in their culture. We just don't like to admit it. But so when you read it in that context, it makes it a little bit more easy to understand what the heck is going on there.
Yeah, it's funny. Sarah and I were chatting yesterday. We were kind of looking. We were doing basically a dummy run just to make sure I'd set everything up okay. And we're talking about your books, and she was like, she wrote one about a cruise and Christmas markets. And I'm like, what?
And it was one of the more recent ones of yours that I'd read. And I'm like, how have you not heard of this book? And then I couldn't remember the title of it, so I'm madly trying to find it.
Funny.
So she sent me the title, and then I thought, right, okay. So I went online last night. And I've ordered myself a copy. So
thank you. That was so sweet of you. One Charmed Christmas. I did like that book. And that will tell you one thing. People will say, is there ever anything of you in your characters? And I think, there's usually something of me lurking. Well, in this book, there happens to be a gal who's a hypochondriac. And I'm going, guess who inspired that? Oh my gosh. Anything. I mean, if there's a disease people are talking about, I'll think I have it, and I have to laugh. My doctor, I've been with her for a million years, and I remember I called in, I needed something, had to come in for something. And she said, I told my nurse, she probably thinks she has cancer of the toe. I mean, I'm just like, I was always, I've got something. Oh, I think I've got this. I think I've got that. And I'm such a squirrel. So that was definitely
you've been going through cancer treatment, but right now I'm on massive amounts of anti-rejection drugs. So I'm basically barricaded in my house for the next 6 months. Like at Christmas, it's going to be seeing my niece and nephew waving at them through a camera. You know what I mean? I have to be so careful, which is fine. I'll take it for what I got, right? But the fact of the matter is, last night I'm laying here and I'm like, is my throat sore? Am I getting sick? And then you immediately just start going, oh my gosh,
I know I am.
Yeah.
Oh no, I've just been talking too much. Okay.
No, I mean, she has this great T-shirt that says, "You cannot say no to me. I'm an anti-rejection drug." So it really, it's absolutely brilliant.
But, I showed it when I went for my last transplant appointment, and the doctors all thought that was hilarious. And I have another one that says, what does it say? Same body, rebuilt engine.
I love that. That's
right.
That's amazing. That's so cool that you're here. I mean,
I know. I'm just like you said. I was getting blood work done last week, and the technician looked at me and she said, dead in the eye, she goes, "You are here for a reason." And I said, "You're right. I'm here to read all the books. That's what I'm here for." I jokingly said that to my doctors the whole time through. I'm like, "Listen, do you know how many books I still have to read? I don't have time to die. Okay, yes. I need another 50 years.
You're cute. Well, you know what? I'm going to interject here. You're not just reading books. You are supporting writers. Sometimes readers, I don't think you realize how much we appreciate you. And we do. Because if we don't have readers, we have nobody to tell our stories to.
Yeah.
And so you're doing something that means a lot to many of us, being a reader. You really are.
And we love it.
We
do this for us. It's a give and take.
Yes, exactly. You provide us with stories. You provide us with
hours of entertainment.
Oh, absolute hours of entertainment. and also you're actually helping promote friendship between lots of people. I mean, the reason Sarah and I are friends is because of BookTube. The reason
We've
that Beth
never
and I
met in real life.
we haven't met in real life, but we chat to each other virtually every day because of books and everything.
Some
And
of these ladies in this chat are some of my best friends, and I've never met them in person.
No.
I love that. I love that.
And I mean, I've found a cousin that I didn't know I had.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that neat?
Yeah.
So it's like you as writers provide us with friendship in many, many different forms.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Well, and I feel the same way too. I remember once, especially because I started my social media, started with Facebook, and somebody saying, "Oh, Facebook, you don't really make any friends on Facebook." I thought, "Are you kidding me?" I feel like I've made great friends on Facebook, and and when you can meet in person, that's even better. But I have people that I really consider good friends that I've never met in person, but
I got my start on YouTube and all that stuff doing knitting because I'm the bookish knitter, right? And I'm an avid knitter. So I ended up meeting this group of ladies. We ended up for years traveling together to a sheep and wool festival in upstate New York. We used to rent cabins together. I was at one girl's wedding. I mean, like, these are people I met online. Like, when you're like, don't meet anybody online, that kind of thing. But I mean, and the friendships, it goes to show you that there are nice people. And when I was going through all of my health issues, the outpouring of support I had from this community was unbelievable. It'll bring me to tears if I talk about it now. Like, it's amazing. And it's the faith and, the prayers and all those things were just, this community, the book community is amazing.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. It really is.
So let's see what's Debbie saying. Sorry, Beth, I'll get to yours in a minute. Debbie H, wonderful to just to spend time together. One of my family celebrations will be the 28th. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, for sure.
It doesn't have to be the day of.
No. Beth, cultural poetics is often so important. I taught like that to my high school and junior high school kiddos and find myself doing something similar with the kindergarten kiddos now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's important to know context.
Beth, you're so right, Beth. Sheila, you're a storyteller, not just a writer.
That's right.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
That's
That's really sweet. Well, and I like to, when I'm writing too, I hope that people, sometimes I try, and there's often an underlying message, like even in the case of Frankie, the whole, you can't just look back, you have to move forward. And I think sometimes it's very easy to get stuck in back and not live in the present and plan for the future. And I think that's really important. And I'm realizing that's kind of a theme through a lot of my books, is just the living the life you were given to live. One of my all-time, I have two favorite books of all my Christmas books, and I've done 18 Christmas books over the years, under different names and whatever, but On Story for Christmas, because it was just fun and really cute. That was my big one that put me on the map. But then my other one was A Little Christmas Spirit, and it was a retelling of Dickens' A Christmas story. Because I think that's the most brilliant Christmas story ever written, the ghosts and the man changing. And I thought, gosh, I just want to write an homage to Dickens. And with that spirit, my guide, Stanley Mann, is a cranky, he's a widower, and he's just a cranky, bitter man. And so he does get haunted, but he gets haunted by his wife, who is going to haunt him till he gets through the program and gets out there and gets involved with life again. And I loved the underlying message of that being just, you have got to get involved, even if you had loss, there are still people who need you. Even if you've gone through hard times, there are still people who need you. There is still a way to be useful in this world. And I think that's just a big theme for me, that it's important to remember. And especially as I'm getting older too, because again, I've heard people, in fact, I just heard a friend talking on TikTok about being invisible. Women after a certain age were invisible. I'm thinking, no, you don't need to be invisible. You're still here for a reason. So don't play that invisible card, because I know you can feel like it. And we are, in America here anyway, we are a culture that still worships youth and beauty. But a lot of the people who are aging, like, wait a minute, sorry, I'm not playing that game. And so there's almost this little uprising of what this one lady called the elderkins. We're going, no, we're still here, we still matter, and we're going to have something to do and something to say. And I just think that's really important to keep in mind. Like, and especially Sarah with you, with having the heart thing, you know, and even Fiona with you, you know, because we were talking earlier about how you had some health issues and had to readjust and reinvent your life, and you're doing it, you know. So that's hugely important. Get out there, do it.
Yes, exactly. Sorry. Beth says, Sarah and Fiona, happy to call you ladies friends, my bookish sisters, aunties for my girls. Without the storytellers, we'd probably never have found each other, and Storm as well. Totally, 100%. I am proud to be an auntie to Beth's girls. They are delightful. Storm, my best friend Barb and I have never met in real life, but we met in a Facebook group. Esther Jane, the booktuber community has helped me a lot this year. Yes, it's helped a lot of people, you know.
Storm, I didn't know there was a booktube community. I'm making notes.
Yeah,
that's us. Yep, this is booktube. It's basically book talk, but on YouTube.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So if I post things on my YouTube channel, I wonder if I need to do that in a hashtag booktube or something.
I would. It might get you a little bit more traction.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I say we've a lot of us have met because of it. So Storm, many great friends from being a reader. Absolutely.
That's right. And it's such a solitary hobby that it's so lovely to be able to connect.
Yeah.
I love this comment too about why Dickens wrote A Christmas Carol.
The thing I love that is Dickens wrote A Christmas Carol as a societal commentary about the big gap between those in power and those in poverty, and it has become so much more. Yes, absolutely.
And it's still my favorite Christmas story of all time.
Kim, I was lucky enough this summer to meet two of my booktube friends in person. So
yes, she was very. I think it was Tiffany and I can't remember who the other person was. So Elizabeth. It was Tiffany and Elizabeth.
Yeah. So you know, we hang out as a booktube community. Like there's a group of us that hang out on a Sunday night and do like chat and
live shows where we just chat and then we do reading sprints.
Oh, fun!
And then we do. There's another one on a Monday as well, so it's really good. And then other people will do lives throughout times. Like Sarah will do lives.
I mean, the booktube community is quite big, and there's a lot of like the bigger booktubers tend to be like these more fantasy, romancy readers, which is fine. But then there's our small group that reads very similar. We read a lot of romance, cozy mysteries, that kind of stuff. So, you know, we've kind of connected as a friend group, which has been wonderful.
That's very cool. I love that.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes to connect us, right? You know.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, I mean,
absolutely.
The point is it like you would be more than welcome. It's like if you decided to do a booktube channel, we would come follow you.
Yeah, we tell people that all the time,
and we would tell our friends to come and follow you.
Well, let me ask you this, you guys, because I do have a YouTube channel. I think it's Sheila Roberts, and it's not a booktube channel, but I'm wondering. I do post up there. It stays up there because I've got several interviews with different writers. I do that. Sadly, I'm doing my thing on Sunday evenings, probably similar to, I don't even know what time with you guys are doing, because it happens, so 5 p.m. my time, so early in the morning for you guys, but they stay up there. So I'll throw it out that if anybody is interested and you guys want to see some of the interviews that I've done with
definitely. I will go check that out.
Just go find me on YouTube. Of course, I'm on Instagram also, but all those interviews are still there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
On YouTube channel. So, but I am going to look up. I never heard of BookTube. Who knew? You learn something new every day, guys.
Well, if you're looking, I mean, you know Fiona's channel, obviously, because that's where we are right now. But I am the Bookish Knitter on YouTube.
And then I have to look for YouTube. I found you on Insta now, so I'm very happy. I'm making notes here, guys, if I haven't found some of you.
Well, I mean, if I show you Beth's comment again, her YouTube channel is Soul Stained Ink.
Yeah, the whole thing about why he wrote that in the first place. It has become much more. But it still is a good reminder, and the whole thing with Dickens by the end, he was no longer thinking about just himself. he grew to think he grew up basically and realized there are people in the world who need help, and I'm going to get out there and truly care for others. And I always feel like if everybody did just their own little part, picked the cause that they felt called to help, help the people in their neighborhood, in their family, we would not have as big a need for government social services. The reason government social services come into being is because we as individual people don't always pick up the slack, and maybe this is a good time of year to be thinking about that. What's a family in need? What's an organization that you've been postponing contributing to? This is a great time of year to get started doing that. And I just think the whole thing with generosity is that it's such a good feeling to be able to help people. You gain back in dividends happiness and joy and a feeling of purpose. You get back so much more than you give. And it doesn't have to be a lot. You can give a small amount and you can still, you can still be someone.
Yeah, it could be as simple as just doing like a bag of cookies, homemade cookies for your neighbors. Something like that for your elderly, or even, it doesn't have to be elderly neighbors, it could be any of your neighbors.
Anybody. Somebody who's struggling, if they would love or single older guy. I mean, people who doesn't love having homemade cookies, if that's all you could, or you write a letter, in the US, and I can't think of the name of the organization off the top of my head, but people write letters to guys in the military, and send Christmas cards and that kind of thing, so even if there's nothing more you can do than write letters to people, that's a big thing to somebody.
It's still something.
Card.
Yep, absolutely.
We do. Those of you who get my newsletter already know this, but every year this is several years ago, we had a severely handicapped daughter and we lost her. And my other daughter every year would go out and buy a toy to contribute to Toys or Tots and do it in honor of our daughter. And a few years ago, somehow I found out, I've been 3 years ago or something, I found out about this. And she said, "Mom, would you like to go with me?" I'm like, yeah. And so that's a tradition now. We go out.
That's lovely.
And we buy the present in honor of Heather that she'll donate. She does that, and then I buy lunch, and we have a day together, and it's just
that's wonderful.
Delightful. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
so it's
really
not
cool.
even just generosity, but it's also a family thing for the two of you to
connect with each other. It's a lovely mother-daughter thing we can do, and we're helping somebody, and we're honoring the memory of our lost daughter. And so it's just so there, it doesn't have to be a big thing that you're doing. Just sometimes a little thing.
The little things make all the difference. If everybody did a little thing, it would make a big difference.
A lot of things would happen,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's see. So Kim was saying yes, it was Tiffany and Elizabeth. Esther Jane, I look forward to Sunday and Monday nights. I get so many book suggestions.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The TBRs grow during those.
Jano, I love my booktube friends. We love you, Jano. Storm, today I have a friend who's doing reading sprints right now called Bring Your Own Christmas Book. Oh, I love that idea.
I love that. I have to join in on that afterwards.
I love that.
Luigi, exactly, Esther Jane. Kim Nelson, I do too. Esther Jane. And look how we all learned about heart transplants this year.
Right from the beginning of my journey on my channel, we went through. I even recorded in hospital. Yeah. I even recorded video in hospital.
Yep.
I needed something to do. I was there for 3 months. What else am I going to do?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I moved in. I literally moved in. I brought in my own bedding. I brought in pictures. 3 months. I was in there I got in the hospital on July the 9th. And I got on the transplant list on August 22nd because I had to do the workup beforehand.
To make sure that stay in the hospital in July?
I had to stay because I was that sick. Because I was on a special medication to keep my heart going long enough. And I was born with a congenital heart condition. So we always knew I'd end up here eventually. Wow. But when you're told at 45 that you've got 18 months left, or we're going to do a transplant, I'm like, yes, sign me up. Where do I? Right. Sure. So anyway, I got on the list on August 22nd, and then they told me it would be 3 to 6 months to get a heart. I thought I'd still be there at Christmas and in the new year. And I got the call on October 7th that I had my heart. And I was home on October 23rd.
And I mean, the celebration.
2 weeks after transplant, I was home.
And I mean, the celebrations when we found out,
Oh God,
I mean, were a massive. And I mean,
my most viewed video of the year was the one where I posted that I got the heart.
Yeah,
And
and I mean,
yeah.
She didn't. What was great was she at no point did she hide how bad things were. She tried to, but you know, we can. I mean, I can still remember sitting watching Sarah's video last October when she said she was in heart failure. Her tears were streaming, my tears were streaming, and I think everybody cried, but everybody cheered on the 7th of October.
Of October when I got my
It
heart.
was like we were
Wow.
so happy.
And that I made it home in time for Christmas. That was the big thing. Is that
I think I need to put you in a book, Sarah. How would you feel about that?
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I do. I see a Christmas novella here. I mean, that's
I do. That'd be wonderful. Kim is saying that PK, the Bookie monster, is doing her sprints right now. Lou is saying, "How didn't you lose your mind when you're waiting for a transplant?" It's beyond me.
Really?
I got very fortunate because I met a few other people on the ward or on the floor with me. One gentleman in particular who was also waiting for a heart. So we became friends. And he's a few years older than me. I now call him my big brother, and I'm his little sister. So we've really connected as two people because he'd been there since June, and then I came in July, and he got his heart after me. But anyway, we used to like get up in the morning, have breakfast, and take off. We'd like be walking around the hospital with our IV poles. We're like,
oh my gosh, I love this.
Well, downtown Toronto has 4 hospitals all in the exact same area. It's called Hospital Row. And there's tunnels that connect them underneath. So Rick and I would go to the other hospitals. Like one of them had a bookstore. So we would go across to the bookstore. You know, like just take a walk with what else are you going to do? That's how we kept ourselves from going crazy.
Okay, I stake claim on your story. I stake claim right now.
It's yours. It's yours.
You
Reach out to me if you have any questions.
You will be hearing from me.
I need to go and quickly put my battery charger in because my battery's. So you two chat amongst yourselves, please.
That's just amazing. It really is. Oh my goodness.
But yeah, but I mean, you have to. When I went in, before I went in, I had to talk to a palliative care doctor because we didn't know how this was going to end. You've been through cancer treatment. You understand, right? Yeah. And she said to me, when she knew I was going into hospital, she said, pack as if you're going on the worst summer vacation you've ever been on. And I'll never forget her saying that. Like, I refused to wear a hospital gown. Refused. I said, no, I'm not spending 3 months in a gown. I brought pants. I brought T-shirts. You know, I was hooked up to an IV. That's fine. But like I said, my nurses knew where I was. I had my cell phone. If they needed me, they called me. And when I got the call, Rick and I were out together at the bookstore, and my phone had rung twice, and it was a private number, and I thought, well, this is strange. And then when we got back up to the floor, my doctor was literally standing right there. He's like, come with me. So it was like 11:30 in the morning. He said, we have a heart. And I went into surgery that night at 11 o'clock.
Oh my gosh, this is just amazing.
Isn't it just, I mean, what I've learned about transplants and how unbelievably grateful I am to the donor and the donor's family. That's what gets me emotional. You know what I mean? Like the sacrifice. And that's why, like you said, you know, your public service announcement was get checked, you know, make sure. Mine is please sign your donor card.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yes, please sign your donor card.
Wow. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. This is just, I'm just blown away by your story. I really am.
And I'm just, for me, I'm amazed at how I feel. Like, you know, like.
You'll be running marathons soon. You'll be running marathons soon.
Yeah, no. If I'm running, somebody's chasing me.
Let's see what else have we got in the comments. Jano, praise God, Sarah. I'm so glad you shared all this with us. Yeah.
Really. What an amazing story.
Yeah. Beth, I called my parents to tell them when you announced that she got a heart. We all waited for the announcement that she'd gotten through surgery. Yeah. My mum and dad too. It was like they kept going, have you heard? So
that's amazing.
Me too, Soul Stain Dink. Luigi, who's cutting onions? Storm, she had a whole lot of booktubers patiently waiting to hear how things went. Her poor husband had to put up with us, because we kept going, has anybody heard anything?
Wow.
And bless my husband.
Luigi, I know.
I called, of course, my mother. I called my husband was the first call. My mother, my family, and I called one of my coworkers, and I called my best friend. My best friend and I have been friends since we were in the second grade, so we've been friends for over 40 years now, or almost 40 years. And I called her, and she said, "Listen, I know Garrett, which is my husband, is going to be busy, but she goes, when you're out of surgery, just have him send me a text message with a thumbs up. That's all I want."
Yeah.
Bless my husband, he forgot. And a week after my surgery, I called her. She goes, "Oh my God, you're alive." And I said, if something had happened, God forbid, my mother would have contacted her. And she said she knew that in the back of her mind, but she said, like her mom said, "You should call the hospital." And she's like, "They're not going to tell me anything, like."
Is my friend dead?
Yeah. Is she still there?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good reminder also. Again, the whole keeping in touch with the people who matter.
That's right.
It was a year ago it felt like people were just dropping off the earth. One of my good buddies, my bestie from high school, died, and I didn't hear about it. And this is so funny. She'd moved, we used to get together once in a while, but then she kind of moved a little ways away. But we had this goofy book from the 60s, facial exercises for women to do to keep the wrinkles away, and it was all these pictures and examples, and we got in the habit of sending this book back and forth to each other on birthdays with cheeky remarks about how old we're getting, and you're going to really need this. And then we kind of switched to, we do it on landmark birthdays. And I had sent her the book, and my husband's like, you're spending a fortune and postage on this stupid book. Why can't you guys do this a little less often? And I just said something cheeky about, so next time it's your turn, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't hear back. And I thought, did I do something to make her mad? And then I sent her a birthday card, and I didn't hear. I'm like, what on earth? And then a few months later, I hear from her husband. I get a card saying, "Oh, by the way, she died, and I lost her address." And so all this time, there was no chance. There was no closure. There was no chance to see anything. And I thought, oh, what a reminder this is, because you don't know.
You never know.
You can have people in your life. And don't put off, if there's someone you need to apologize to, if there's someone you need to think things right with, if there's someone on your mind, I think, I got to get around to talking to her. Don't wait to get around, because by the time you get
life
around,
is way too short.
So it's just, and the whole thing with your heart. And the one lady going, "Oh my gosh, I was worried you died." Because you could have. The fact that you're still here is amazing.
that was the joke, is that they tell you before you go under, the anesthesiologist says, when you wake up, breathe through your mouth, because you've got the tube down your right. And I'm like, yeah, I'll remember that. As soon as I knew I was awake, my first thought was, and I won't tell you my exact word I used, was holy, you know what? I'm awake. My first thought was, holy, I'm awake.
That's really cool. Yeah. What a great story, seriously.
Oh yeah.
It's a wonderful story with a fantastic outcome, which we're all very grateful for.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to go quickly nip back to one of the book that I've just ordered, the one about the Christmas markets. Have you done Christmas markets? Did you do a river cruise? Is that how you got the inspiration for that?
We have done, over the years, we've done 3. We did one on our own, and we loved it so much that we convinced my husband's brother and his wife to do another one with us. So I think that's the one I used. I kept the entire itinerary. And so basically that book goes over everything we did on that cruise. It was
wonderful.
Wow.
I tell you what, if you have, and then I did a third one and took some readers on a cruise, and we all did a cruise together, which was
that would be awesome.
That'd be fun. My gosh, so much fun. I would love to do another one, but we've convinced ourselves that traveling in December is not the best, because we can, now we get a lot, but we can get snow once in a while, and you don't want to be snowed out and not be able to make it. In fact, the last one, we almost didn't get out of Germany. But that was the inspiration for doing the cruise. And if you haven't done one of those, guys, I would just recommend save your pennies. They are worth every penny. They're just magical. Every town and every market, they decorate differently. They have their own decorations. And every town, they have, I've got a collection of little mugs. I don't have them at this house, but they'll all have for that year a special little Christmas mug that you can get. I have a couple that are little elves on them. I have 2 that are shaped like little Christmas boots. And they're just, it's it's just magical. It really is. It's such a special thing to do. So if you're looking for something fun to save up for, I would highly recommend saving up. Two big things: doing the Christmas market, and if you can't do that, taking a trip to Victoria, BC, and checking out Bouchard Gardens at Christmas. That was just,
That's on my list.
it was just a sensory overload. It was great. And it's fun to do a weekend. You can check out the Empress Hotel. You can do high tea at the Empress. You'll have to sell a child to be able to afford it, but or you can go to.
I don't have any kids, so it works out well.
You're good. You're good. Or you can go to Murchie's, and they have that's a fun little place to have tea and all kinds of things you can do in Victoria. And so those are two favorite travel things that I have loved doing. That the rest of you might like to do it in the holidays.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, so Beth, my uncle actually passed away suddenly this past Wednesday. Yes, and I've been thinking about this subject nonstop. Yeah, I was absolutely shocked when that came through. And then Lou G, as a newbie to the genre and to Sheila, can I just jump anywhere, or is there something in particular I should start with? So, which book of yours, Sheila, if someone is a newbie to you, would you say, right, this is the one you should read first?
Wow. Well, I think you can't go wrong with any of my Christmas books because they're standalone.
Yeah.
And this might be a fun one to jump into because again, it's multi-generational and it's cheery and happy. And some of the, like the 12 Months of Christmas, that's a favorite book of mine too, because I love the message behind it. But there are some sad things that happen in that. And in this one, there's nothing sad. So if you want cheery ho ho Christmas, this might be a good one to jump into.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and I love both. I've done two book series. One is is set in Icicle Falls, and the first one of that book was called Better Than Chocolate. They got renamed Christmas or something on Center Street. I don't even know. I don't know why they had to rename my books, but they did. That one. So there's that series, and then my Moonlight Harbor series, and the first one of those was called Welcome to Moonlight Harbor. Yeah. So Welcome to Moonlight Harbor might be a good one to start with, or just starting with this one if you can find it. You have to be.
It was Sweet Dreams on Center Street.
Thank you, Sweet Dreams.
You're welcome. I've got your author page pulled up on Fantastic Fiction just in case.
I kind of wish they hadn't done that. Another one. So if you got my page, it was a favorite of mine. It was called What She Wants, and again, that was something about Mountain View.
That was fun.
They changed that, but I loved that one because it was about these guys who were just not getting their act together with the women in their lives or with romance, and so they start reading romance novels and reading them like as research so they can figure out how to fix it. I always thought that would have made a cute movie, but my little movie guy that had done a couple of my books to movies, that sounds really good, and then he never followed up on it. I thought, well, I guess that wasn't to be. Anyway, so hopefully that helps.
Are you going to read any more?
In the middle of a series is all. Don't start in the middle of a series. Start with the first book of the series.
So, are you going to write any more Icicle Falls books?
No, I love that series. I think we are done with both Icicle Falls and The Beach, and the next books planned are all standalones.
I was gonna ask, are you planning any more series in the future? But I guess it's a lot to take on with a series, right?
Well, and mass market, I guess you can do a series for the larger size, the trade paperback books. But the mass market books, the smaller books that were actually affordable, for some reason that market is drying up and publishers are not doing very many books in that format, which I think is sad because it's a lot more affordable for people now. And again, so thank you readers, because now you're really having to invest a chunk of money in buying a book, because not everybody has the money to pay $18 a pop every time you want to buy a new book
or a Kindle edition.
Even ebooks have gotten expensive. It's really frustrating that that's how things have become. And of course, price of everything has gone up. Groceries have gone up.
This is true.
Hopefully, salaries are going up too. But
wouldn't that be nice?
It's just a little harder to go out and buy everything you want. I feel like I'm breaking the bank here because I want to always support all my friends, and all my friends are really prolific. I'm like, everybody but me.
Or just slow it down just a little.
A little, but not much. I have to laugh. Debbie Maycomber, she's been going to retire for years, and she even sent out a letter. I'm going to be retiring, and she's like, no, I can't retire. I don't want to retire.
Well, she'll never retire.
No, we can't do without her Christmas books and your Christmas books. That's definitely a must.
Yeah, it's funny. We I'm definitely, because again, guys, look at the hair color. I'm going to slow down a little bit because I like I was telling Fiona earlier, I kind of want to go in some different directions writing wise. But there does come a point, and that's probably a good thing, that there is a whole new group of writers coming up, young writers who are filling the spaces and writing fun little rom-coms and thing. And I really do think my favorite of that batch, although she's not, she's younger than me. Everybody's younger than me, but she is Courtney Walsh, and I just love her stuff because it's closed door, it's clean, and that's really fun. And I know Christina Lauren, they're really popular. They can get a little spicy, a little.
I find though my mother can actually read them. Okay. She enjoys Christina Lauren. But she just takes the spice as, she listens to everything on audio. She just words through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they are very funny. And there was one I actually did a review on that because the cover was so adorable. And it was called How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. And the cover is the cutest cover, cute title. And it is like, okay, this is not a book for me, obviously. It's like a jalapeno potty mouth kind of book. People are loving it though. It's very, and I read a couple of pages and thought, I can tell this is going to be a really funny book.
Oh, the Megan Quinn book.
Yeah.
I have it. Yeah.
And the cover is adorable.
Oh,
it's the cover, you feel like you're going to get
the Grinch. It's the Grinch cover.
Yeah. This cute little sweet rom-com thing, and it's definitely
covers are very deceiving. Unfortunately, we've had this discussion so many times amongst our group of friends. I just read one by an author named Teresa O'Malley that I'd never read before, and the cover was so cute. It takes place in Scotland, and it was a cartoon cover with little puffins, and the puffins were wearing Santa hats, and I thought, oh my God, this is. But my gosh, did it go off the fully open door? And I'm like, this is not what I was expecting,
Yeah. I just, and again, I guess the bottom line is there is something for everyone in the reading community, which is
absolutely.
A lot of the gals that go, I want my spice, and the hotter, the better, and go for it. So I'm certainly not gonna.
I just wish that they'd be a bit more transparent. In terms of in the description of the book, please note that this might be for 18 plus or something like that.
I wouldn't mind having some ratings, really. And people have, even when the Merry Matchmaker, and I got a great review from a gal, I don't remember who it was right off. It was a really lovely review. It said a lot of good things in the book, and they said some raunchy humor. And I'm thinking, one thing where she trips over the big shoe, but that was so mild compared to anything. It was like basically nothing. I thought, raunchy humor, but I would rather have that and say, look, this is a totally squeaky clean. This has got, maybe there are a couple of bad words in this. I would love it if we could do some kind of a rating system for books.
I mean, they do trigger warnings in a lot of these other books. These
like
darker,
that.
Right?
Yeah, give me a trigger warning. This is probably not going to, because we all want to support our favorite authors, but we all have different types of books that we want to read, and it's very. I mean, we do that with movies. We give it a rating, and I'm not sure why we can't do that with books, because again, you readers are spending so much money on books, and you don't want to feel like, well, I wasted that $18.
Yes,
we want people to match with. I want to match the right reader with the right. Right.
That's right. That's right.
That it's a match, and and again, that one book that's doing so well, and and like I said, it's funny, and if you don't mind having some of the spicier stuff, then that's great. But for those who are looking for a clean read, then you might want to go a different direction with different.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right, let's hop on to some more comments. Lou G, thank you. Good. Kim Nelson, Sheila Way. Kim Nelson, what is your YouTube channel? Then she goes.
She found it further down, I think.
Yes.
It should be. If you look for Sheila Roberts on there or follow Sheila, you should find it on YouTube.
M's books are everywhere. Hello all. I'll be looking for that cheery Christmas book. Hi, Em.
Hi,
and then Storm, I think this is good. Just wish the cute covers would come with a spice level graphic on it. Great idea. Kim Nelson.
Put some little jalapenos, some cute little jalapenos with the give me some jalapenos.
That's right.
I do too, which is right. Beth is going, a spice level graphic and clearly marked age level, please. The MG, YA, NA, A books all have similar cute covers a lot of the time. I totally agree with you. Yes.
100%.
Yeah. The covers can be a little misleading. And again, I'm certainly not going to begrudge somebody a cute cover. And each writer finds their readers. But for a lot of readers, if they get in, they go, oh man, I wish I hadn't spent my money on this because this is not me. So,
I mean, if it's an author you're familiar with, you kind of know. Like I know for a fact going in, Jill Shalvis is going to be open door. and I'm okay with that. But if I hadn't read her before and I look, you know what I mean? You look at the cover of her books, you might not think that.
Yeah, same thing. You're gonna pick, who you want, and writers, a lot of times writers evolve, too. They start out maybe a little racier and then they go, I think I'm done with that.
Well, Sarah Morgan, she was quite spicy.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. If you read her earlier books when she wrote for Harlequin, Mills and Boone, and her From Manhattan with Love series gets pretty spicy. But her new books now are not. They're more family-oriented, more friendship-oriented, which is lovely. It's a nice shift for her as an author.
The only ones that I read of hers was, what was her, there was one about the book club that met at the hotel.
Oh, book club hotel,
Chrstmas Book Club,
yeah, that was a cute book. And again, there was nothing in that. It was really charming and just a lovely read. So authors evolve. They say, okay, now I'm out of that phase. I want to try something new.
Exactly, and that's great. We love to see it as readers too, and we will support. If you want to go in a different direction.
Oh yeah. Esther Jane says, "I'm sorry to say, the older I get, the less spice I want." I can concur with that. Luigi, preach, sister Esther Jane. Beth says, getting a PhD in middle grade and having a 12-year-old is difficult enough without the added cute cover and smut interior issues. Well said.
That really can be frustrating. It can be a little I think that's the problem, is it can be misleading.
Yeah.
Because again, some of these covers, I think this is just going to be Hallmark cute. And then it's like Hallmark with a little bit of R-rated thrown in. They're like, oh,
right.
This is what I signed up for. I think so that's the biggest problem really for readers. We just want to kind of know. And I probably should have read more reviews. I didn't read reviews on Amazon. I just got so captivated by the cover and the title. It's like,
I know.
Again, by the buzz, because people are loving the book. It's a very funny book from what I hear, which is great. Like I said, I don't want to ever diss another writer or rob them of their potential.
No.
But I do think, there are so many options out there right now that it's, if you lean a certain way, you want to know what that book is. Man, bring the spice on. I want to, they want you the better. Then you want to know that. Because you're going to maybe want some clean. You're not going to go, I don't want to read this boring clean book.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you want the closed door romance.
Yeah. Almost lost my tree. There's the book we're talking about in case anyone's curious.
Yeah.
Isn't that cover's adorable?
But the cover is delightful. It's the great cover.
It's really cute.
And I even bought the book because I've read Megan Quinn before. So I knew where this was going to go.
Oh, see, I didn't. She's a brand new author to me.
Yeah, I'd read her before, so I was familiar, and I was like, okay, I can do this because she's funny.
But but I could tell she's. I can tell.
But she writes a chunker of a book.
Yeah. That's a big read. And again, just the little bits I read, I thought, oh, this woman's a wonderful writer.
Yep.
But you just have to be prepared for, well, was this what I signed up for?
Exactly.
Yeah. I love it. I just think, like somebody said, the MANA, just give us a little rating on the back. I don't know if publishers will ever do that because they just want people books.
To buy the books.
But it would be very helpful to readers if we just knew a little bit more.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Denise Ward says, good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Denise.
Hi, Denise.
Hello, Denise.
Hi, cousin Sonia. I hope you're having a lovely Saturday. We are, cousin. I hope you are as well. That's good. And Esther Jane just finished the book club hotel and loved it. Not spicy. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that was a really cute Christmas read, I thought.
It was very much so. Yeah. So we talked a wee bit earlier when we were backstage that you're going to possibly divert some of your writing to other sort of type or genres of books. Are you happy to share that with everybody, or do you want to?
I mean, I don't have anything. I don't have anything concrete to share yet, but I'm wanting to move a little more in the direction of doing a little bit more nonfiction, a little bit of teaching encouragement type books, and so I'm hoping to be able to go that direction, and even some fiction that's a little more faith-based. If you hear scrunching in the background, apologies, my darling husband Gerhard is feeding the fire. We're down on the coast at the moment, and we had a big storm last night. Fortunately, we did not lose power or Wi-Fi, but we had, and fortunately, again, our little heating, whatever you call those things that hang on your ceiling, it was under warranty, but it decided to quit working. So the part that heats the main house is not working, and so we we're very happy that we have a wood stove, so we're kind of
lovely
here. But so the in the background is him crunching up the fire.
That's all right, no worries. So, okay, Sonia goes, I just realized now I have glasses on. That's Sarah.
Hi, Sonia.
glad you got your glasses on, cousin.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
That's funny.
So, is there anything else that you want to share with our viewers or
the gang?
Yeah, with the gang.
I do want to thank you all for taking time, because this is such a busy time of year, and I appreciate you all taking the time to chat with me a little bit. And I do hope that you'll find me. I'm all over social media. I'm on Instagram, of course, Sheila Roberts Writer, and TikTok, Fun with Sheila Roberts Writer, and then Facebook. Again, I'm on there. I think I'm a Sheila Roberts Writer on there. And we're doing a lot of lives. And do look for me on YouTube, and you can some of the interviews I've done with other authors. And I'm going to check out. Thanks for sharing me with the YouTube. I wrote it down. The YouTube, whatever that was. BookTube, whatever it was. Anyway, so I'm going to be looking forward to that, and
Excellent.
Looking forward to hanging out with you all guys in the coming year.
Oh, for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Well, last comment is Lou. Thank you, Sheila. This was fantastic. Yes,
I agree.
So thank you very much, Sheila, for joining Sarah and I. We have loved it. It's been great chatting.
And we'll do it again when your next book comes out.
Exactly. As Beth said, we appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. The Merry Matchmaker was the first of your books I've read this week in prep, and now I've followed you on Insta and YouTube, and we'll be reading more.
Thank you.
Jano goes, Sheila, I'll be looking for your YouTube about books. So
thanks, you guys. Yes. And you guys, thank you. It's been so much fun. And Fiona and I have kind of gotten to know each other a little bit on Insta, but I finally got to see you in real, see what you look like. And this is my first time getting a chance to meet you. So I found you on Insta, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with all of you in the new year. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thanks to everyone for watching. We hope you've enjoyed it. I'm sure you have. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye, everybody.